I be seeing motherfucker with a Rick on, Chrome Heart. They be going crazy. Like 40K. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all dumb as hell. But if you got that shit, put it on, y'all nigga. You feel me? That shit stupid as hell to me. But we finna see today. We got the cult of Chrome Hearts. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying the C word, especially not that early. My bad, YouTube. Look, check me out though. Check me out. Hit that like button, bro. Help the video get. You know what I'm saying? Let's get straight to it though.
Chrome Heart, a luxury brand that has become extremely prevalent in recent years for selling silly stuff for silly prices. This cult
Ain't gonna lie,
brand,
bro. I seen a motherfucking it was like a Chrome Heart eye patch, and that shit was like $3,000. You niggas drunk as fuck,
audience's
boy.
behavior is almost cult-like, the way they are willing to
Nigga,
throw insane amounts
I make me eye patch and print out the motherfucking Chrome Heart logo and put that bitch on there. Stop playing with me,
of
bro.
money at anything
Hell
this
no.
exclusive brand produces, to a point where they try to make it their whole lifestyle. And given the type of stuff Chrome Hearts make,
that's
you could try
hard.
to make it their whole
That's
lifestyle.
fucking tough.
And given the type
That's tough though. I could see why somebody like even I will like even if this not Chrome Hearts, this is tough. This is a raw chair right here.
stuff Chrome Hearts makes, you could quite
That's right,
easily
too.
adorn every aspect of your life with silver hardware and leather crosses. Well, just as long as you have the money. But is there something deeper to uncover with this brand other than just wacky custom items and overpriced sterling silver jewelry and
Chrome Heart
streetwear?
wheelchair.
From Drake getting a fully customized Chrome Hearts Rolls Royce to
That's
people
tough.
literally financing hoodies and jeans, there has to be something more to this luxury label than just plain old monetary flexing. I think most people assume that this brand was born out of the hypebeast era, which would track given some of their brand strategy and how people love to flex these clothes.
Yeah.
But Chrome Hearts is actually a lot older than you might expect. Like with any good American business success story, the company Chrome Hearts of course was born in a garage somewhere in California. In 1988, Richard Stark and John Bowman started making leather products for bikers in LA. Stark had already been in the business of selling high-end leather hides and representing tanneries, and according to him, had also been making leather biker products for himself and friends since 1985. But alongside John Bowman, who was already working in the manufacturing of leather goods, the pair decided to apply their respective experiences in the industry and create a brand focused on biker culture. They also partnered with jeweler Leonard Camus,
cool
who
as shit.
specialized in silver, to do all of the embellished hardware that the brand would go on to be iconic for. This is the same year that Richard met and married Lori Lynn, who would go on to play a massive role in the success of Chrome Heart, but we'll get into that a little later in the video. Their first proper gig as a company came in 1989 in the form of a horror film where they were hired to do costume design.
Okay.
The story goes that this film was originally named or had the working title of Chrome Heart, which Richard would yoink for his own brand. However, this is sort of contradicted by Richard in a handwritten note detailing his early life and the early days of the brand, which was published in a photography book in Japan in 1997. October 1988. One sedated eve, my favorite design was conceived. I called it Chrome Hearts. March 1989, Chrome Hearts opened. First job, the legendary movie Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town. So Richard claims he came up with the name specifically for some design while getting geeked one evening in '88, but the widely accepted film working title story is backed up by this film poster with the original
Say,
title.
I know Twin
I
be getting
couldn't find
fried.
any instances where Richard
fried right
confirmed
there.
that the name came
Okay.
directly from the
He out
film,
there
so
dead pet.
I don't know, maybe he just lied in his handwritten letter and didn't anticipate that a pedantic YouTuber might notice decades later. Regardless of how the name came about, this first job immediately led to the brand's second gig, as one of the actresses in the film was dating Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols at the time. Steve loved the brand's offerings, so he commissioned some pieces from them that he would wear on stage, which led to Chrome Hearts gaining its first real cohort of customers, which started to slowly embed the brand into the rock music scene. In an article published by the LA Times back in 2002, Richard said this: Steve Jones introduced us to the Cult introduced us to Heart introduced us to Aerosmith, and on and on. Some other notable early clients included Lenny Kravitz, Guns N' Roses, The Motley Crue, and Cher, who specifically would wear the brand religiously and even became very close friends with Richard and Lori. Going into the 90s, Chrome would continue to grow and expand more into retail and would even start having its products stocked in the infamous Macfield boutique from 1991. In 1992, Chrome Hearts was awarded the Accessory Designer
Chrome
of the
Hearts
Year
been
award
around
by
for
the
a
Council
long
of
time,
Fashion
and they've been doing
Designers
their
of
shit for a
America.
minute.
At the time, Richard and the rest of his team were so out of touch with this side of the fashion industry that they didn't even know what this organization was and thought their initial attempts to contact them via telephone were a telemarketing scheme. A few years later in 1994, the founders split, with Richard and Laurie buying John and Leonard's shares and gaining full control of the company. Laurie Lynn isn't simply a co-owner of Chrome Hearts via her marriage to Richard. Rather, she has been a driving force behind the brand's creative direction, marketing strategy, and many other aspects of the business since the 90s. The couple both designed for the brand. Laurie attended the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising and has also designed swimwear lines before meeting Richard. In the early 90s, Rei Kawakubo, the founder of Comme des Garçons, helped introduce the brand to the Asian market by stocking their products in some of her stores. Chrome Hearts was a massive hit in Japan, which is to be expected, as this lot love Western rock aesthetics as much as Western weeaboos love anime figures and body pillows. Rock music has had a massive influence on Japanese subcultures.
Yeah, nah,
body
hold
pillows.
on, go back. Chat, don't let me find out y'all got a fucking body pillow, bro. Hell
Rock
nah.
music has had a
Y'all
massive
true.
influence on Japanese subcultures, brands, and designers over the years. Richard even walked for the Comme des Garçons Homme Plus Spring-Summer 1992 collection in Paris. When asked about how he found this experience, Richard said, "Scary. When it was all over, I bought one of her black cotton button-down shirts and I took all the buttons off it and put Chrome Hearts buttons on it. I crossed out her label and put Chrome des Garçons on it and gave it to her as a present." By the time the 2000s had rolled around, Chrome Hearts had cemented itself as a truly unique and successful luxury brand with a
Damn, they
CFDA
did
award
the
under its
CDG
roller
for
belt,
shit first.
multiple international boutiques, and a substantial celebrity clientele. Despite all of this, Richard would not consider the brand to be a true fashion label. There's no game being played for the fashion world. To me, Chrome Hearts has got nothing to do with the fashion world. I guess part of this should be kind of obvious given some of the crazy custom items they've always produced, but with jewellery and clothes being the core of the brand, it still is quite surprising to hear. We don't have any seasons. I make things when I want to make them because I want to make them. This prioritizing of intention and authenticity over commercialization has proven to be one of Chrome Hearts' biggest strengths over the years, and this will become even more apparent later on in
Ain't
the
gonna lie,
video.
all that shit been tough.
Part of this
I
is
ain't
due
seen
to
a
the
bad
friendships
Chrome
and
piece yet.
partnerships the brand's team has cultivated over
Oh,
the
that
years.
shit fire.
Going into the 2000s, this led to many collaborative releases, with the first one coming to fruition in 2002 with the Rolling Stones, which resulted in a runway show called Fashion and Licks. Rei Kawakubo and Richard Stark came together in 2007 for their first Chrome Hearts and Comme des Garçons collab collection, which featured both clothing and jewellery. 14 years later, they would release a more extensive 19-piece capsule collection for fall-winter 2021. And then there are these Chrome Hearts hardware-adorned Rick Owens Geo baskets and Ramones, which feel like they are straight out of any archive fashion fan's wet dream. For years, I assumed that these were just custom-made on request.
There you got
like
Airy
Chrome
Berry
does
up
with
there. He picked the
Converse or
perfect
Timberlands,
motherfucker for the slide.
and essentially unofficial custom-made bespoke shoes. However, these are actually from an official collaborative release with Rick Owens, dating back to 2010. Richard and Laurie are good friends with Rick Owens and his wife, Michelle Lamy, which shouldn't be surprising at this point. In an interview with L'Officiel, Laurie had this to say about their friendship and the nature of the collaborations between the two labels. "Rick and Michelle are our family in Paris. So Sunday dinners together, sharing life together there. Dinner conversations naturally revolved around art, music design, and just evolved into doing things together. It wasn't a collaboration, we always just admired each other's work." In a modern context, the concept of collabs is massive across all corners of the fashion industry. I think this was largely due to the rise of the hypebeast era and sneaker culture of the late 2010s and the early 2020s, which at their peaks both utilize these collaborative releases to bridge audiences and generate a lot of attention and hype. And I think it really set a precedent for the rest of the industry. Basically, the fashion zeitgeist mirrored exactly what Fortnite did, with the never-ending stream of crossovers to rake in as much money as possible.
Yeah.
Chrome Hearts definitely didn't invent the collab, but they were ahead of the curve on this front. Especially considering some of the brands that they were partnering up with went on to become regulars for collaborative releases when it became the norm years later. Let's take a quick intermission so I can remind everyone watching to please scroll down and comment something nice and interact with all these lovely buttons. If you need some more convincing, I've turned them into custom.
Hey, look. This, I ain't got the comment, but I sub and give you a like, my nigga.
Chrome Hearts
That's
buttons.
the most I could do for you.
If you could get a custom Chrome Hearts version of any random or absurd item, what would it be? Comment your answer down below with any custom Chrome Hearts buttons. If you could get a custom Chrome Hearts version of any random or absurd item, what would it be? Comment your answer down below.
$4,000 ice
Chrome
scooper.
100k subscriber plaque.
That's fire.
Coincidentally, I am trying to hit 100k subs by the end of the year.
Oh, for real?
Who knows? Maybe if this video does well enough, YouTube
shit.
will send my silver plaque via the Stark family facility.
Bro, you 5 away. You 5,000 away.
The video. In 2017,
y'all sub up to
rap
this nigga,
overtook rock as the most popular music genre in the US.
Bro, trying to
Given
get
that
that
Chrome
play.
Hearts built its reputation on the rock aesthetic, you'd probably expect that it would lead to the
I gotta log
Stark
back in.
family facility to
I was
sort
thinking
that
about
out.
bro getting his play.
Anyway, back to the video. In 2017, rap overtook rock as the most popular music genre in the US. Given that Chrome Hearts built its reputation on the rock aesthetic, you'd probably expect that it would lead to the brand fading into obscurity as a relic of the past, sported only by recently divorced men going through a midlife crisis. But rappers seem to love the brand just as much as rock stars did, if not more. During the 2010s, there was more of a focus on the denim, t-shirts and hoodies, as leather jackets and gothic jewelry didn't really fit into the streetwear aesthetic that was popular at the time and adjacent to the rap genre. This is where I think a lot of the criticism towards Chrome Hearts began, because $20,000 for some jeans is a bit of a sticky one still. I think the retail price for something like this is actually nearer $4,000. I don't know why I'm saying that like it makes it any better. Despite
Mary jeans being $1,000 is crazy as fuck too. I don't know why niggas walking around with a Mary jeans on and you don't got a car, nigga. Yeah, that's why your ass walking in them Mary jeans.
All of Chrome's products being made in their LA-based production facility, these sorts of off-the-shelf type offerings from the brand aren't being artisanally made. They are just screen-printed blanks, usually from LA Apparel, or getting some normal denim jeans and slapping some leather patches on them. Despite all the celebrity co-signs, collaborations and acclaim we've discussed so far, until the 2020s, Chrome Hearts was still a bit of a if you know type brand. Not that it was some underground, extremely gate-kept brand that only celebrities were allowed to know about or anything like that. I think because of the price tags, the exclusive nature of the brand, and how the streetwear...
Come on, you talking about I find motherfuckers like you really interested. I ain't gonna lie, this spot is kind of person, you know what I'm saying? If you feel me, it's a personal fault. What's really crazy is you wouldn't even want this shit if you ain't see me post it. You... He say what's crazy is you really wouldn't even want this shit if you ain't see me post it, nigga. You get what I'm saying. I don't even think you really hungry like that, to be honest, bro. Go ahead and find yourself something to eat, bro. The fridge. Bro, this is not the fridge. This the internet. You get what I'm saying? This shit tastes insane. Wait, he said this shit tastes insane though. Shit, wow, seafood. What the fuck is he talking about? Seafood pasta, nigga. What the fuck is he talking about?
That only celebrities were allowed to know about or anything like that.
I just
I
played a
think because
video,
of the
bro.
price tags, the
You just
exclusive
robbed me.
nature
Yeah,
of the brand,
you had
and
me,
how
and then
the
you lost me at the
streetwear
second
oriented
half, bro.
pieces sort of blended
Like, you
into
lost
the
me in, like,
logo
the
menu
third
of the
quarter, my
hypebeast
nigga.
era meant that it got overlooked for a while. People have started
I don't
to
know
get
what the
bored
fuck
with
he yapping
mainstream
about.
luxury brands in
Seafood,
recent times,
pasta,
especially as
what
it's
the fuck is he
becoming more
talking
apparent
about?
that most of them rely on artificial scarcity and value while quietly emulating the questionable practices more commonly found in fast fashion. So I can understand why a brand like Chrome Hearts would suddenly become more appealing. Even if you are buying an overpriced long sleeve, at least it was screen printed in their USA-based factory and represents a brand that does value creating bespoke and artisanal products rather than doing anything they can to cut costs and maximize profits. So with these sorts of items, you are essentially paying to be a part of an exclusive club rather than expecting every penny of the price tag to be justified with the highest quality materials and artisanal production techniques. Not to say that Chrome Hearts doesn't do this with other products, I'm just referring to the standard clothing type products which all sit towards the lower end of their catalogue.
The jackets,
with so many
the
celebrities
shirts,
having
the
co-signed
pants.
the brand years or even decades ago, by the time we hit the 2020s, I think it created a sense of FOMO, which thrust the brand further into the mainstream. It's also worth noting that prior to Chrome Hearts becoming ultra mainstream, apart from online presence and viral marketing, they had all the ingredients to guarantee a brand's success in the digital age. However, they had achieved all of this 20 to 30 years beforehand, which I think gave them even more value and added to that FOMO element for consumers for not being tapped in earlier. Collabs, high quality and in-house style of manufacturing, both authentic and artificial scarcity and value. They had celebrities wearing their products even before they had a mainstream audience, which is the build a successful brand cheat code in the modern day. Virgil Abloh built up his early brands Bintril and Pyrex this way. Funnily enough, Virgil also collaborated with Chrome Hearts back in 2017 and was very vocal about his love of the brand. So, as well as having a recent boom, how have they remained relevant and popular over multiple decades, while seemingly breaking so many rules? Well, I think one reason is that at its core, the brand has an incredibly strong design language. And with the business model of them chromifying anything, they can move with the tides of fashion trends, with a lot of the work being done for them by the customers who will purchase the types of items that are trendy. For example, for any culturally significant shoe, there will be a custom chrome version of it. So for whichever one is popular at any given time, the chrome one can act as a holy grail version. As already mentioned, in the 2010s, the streetwear adjacent pieces were very popular, but now in the 2020s, with more people getting deeper into fashion, the jewelry has seen a rise in popularity. It is sort of the de facto if you're a young male getting into fashion and are at the stage where you want special or expensive jewelry, then Chrome Hearts feels almost like the only option. At least for rings, as another option I see a lot of is Frank Ocean's Homer. But that's mainly chosen for pendants, and as I've said on this channel before, that's just another flavor of overpriced silver that younger fashion bros go bonkers for. What I like about Chrome Hearts is that everything they release is made in their production facility located in Hollywood. There are some exceptions to this, but in those rare cases, the manufacturing is still extremely high quality and usually done in Italy. Basically, the kids working for Shein aren't being forced to do overtime to shit out some chrome trucker hats. Considering that this is the sort of thing that other luxury brands have proven they are willing to do, it's nice to see at least some mainstream luxury labels continue to maintain a level of integrity. They are also outwardly and proudly a family business, with even Richard and Lori Lynn's kids being involved in the brand. And there's just something inherently silly about Chrome Hearts that I just can't help but respect, even though I will likely never buy anything from the brand.
$2,000 box
if you're
of matches.
rich enough and you want a chrome rat trap or a fucking crack pipe, then they'll make that happen for you. Before the video ends, I just wanted to let you guys know that I actually have a release schedule now. So moving forward, you can expect a new video every 3 weeks dropping.
Oh yeah, he tweaking. Y'all, hey, help bro get a 100K. But I don't know if he gonna get a 100K dropping every 3 weeks though. Is that true?